Hello, welcome back to Steve's Retirement Corner. The $1 million retirement myth, or should we say lie. You don't need no $1 million to retire. You just don't. If you think about it, you if you average 50 grand a year throughout your working career for 40 years, if you average that, when you start out making 10 or 15, you end up making 75 or so. I mean, in 40 years, you ain't made but 2 million. So there's no way that you're going to need for the rest of your life $1 million in retirement. There's no way. You got time you get that age, you won't have no mortgage. You won't have no large family to raise. I mean, it costs a lot to feed 4 or 5, 6 people, depending on how big your family is. It'd just be you and the wife, or you and your husband. There's no way. The water usage in the house will go down. You're not going to be traveling all over the place. You're just not. If you average 50 grand a year, you used to just an average, ordinary lifestyle. You're not used to jetting off to France every spring and stuff like that. You just aren't. You couldn't afford it while you were working. What makes you think you can afford it while you retire? You know, if you're going to wait till you retire before you take in big trips and stuff, you've waited too long. You should do it while you're in your working career so you can make up the money that you have to spend for something like that. That's what gets me about people wanting to live in retirement better than they lived when they were working. You can't do that. I think that's a fallacy on that's a dream they have, and but the dream's not going to happen. But yeah, I figure you figure you get a Social Security that's going to cover most of your daggone living expense, and then you get if you have anything saved at all. I mean, you draw out of that to make up the difference. I mean, it don't take much. Because Social Security is going to make up, for average people like me, Social Security is going to make up a good portion of your daggone retirement money. And it's going to make up, it's going to make up probably 2/3 of what you've been making in your working life. If you think about it, if you make 50,000 a year, I just seen a video on here they did. It's about an article they did in 2017. What they say you was going to make? $1,800 in Social Security. Your wife's gonna make half of that. So you figure another 900. So you're talking what, 18 and 9, $2,700, almost $36,000 a year just in Social Security. And you ain't gonna pay no taxes on that. None at all if your Social Security is all you got. Nothing worth worrying about anyways. I mean, you're only 14 grand away from daggone uh, what you were making beforehand. And if you're making 50 grand, I mean, you ain't bringing home but about 40. So you're only a few grand away. So you don't need but 100, 200,000. You ought to be able to save that over a 4-year career. Whether you're saving that much or it grows to that much through interest and stuff. I mean, it ought to be pretty doable. So that $1 million retirement is what them dang finance companies pushing that stuff. You know, them financial advisor companies, they're pushing that because they know it's hard for a person to save 500,000, much less a million. Well, if you come work with us, we'll help you achieve your dreams. Yeah, you'll take my money is what you'll do. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just winging it here. I'm a guy in my chair. Underneath my little gazebo here, winging it. But I think most things are pretty solvable if you sit back and think about it, with a clear head. And I just don't see where you need $1 million to retire. Some people do, but the overwhelming majority of us can get by on a lot less. Well, y'all tell me where I screwed up at. I'm just winging it, remember that. Y'all be good. We'll talk at you later.